What's up and welcome back. I'm John Stark from MacTheMovieGuy.com, your favorite blind film critic. And today, I watched a Tyler Perry movie, and we're going to talk about it because, well, it's new and it's on Amazon, and it's Tyler Perry's Duplicity. And I think everybody sort of expects what's going to happen from a movie critic reviewing Tyler Perry, but uh, I will explain anyway. Click like and subscribe. Whew. Yeah. So this man releases movies nonstop, like at a rapid pace. He's also got Beauty in Black, but his last movie that came out was in December, the 688. Hasn't I don't even think it's been a full year since his last Amazon movie came out, Divorce in the Black. So he's cranking them. He's a he's a working man. This movie stars Cat Graham and a whole bunch of people. I have no idea who they are. Uh, and it's at first I thought it was going to be just like a legit straight up movie, and that Tyler Perry had something to say, because it sort of disguises itself as that. Basically, there's a black man that's killed while running. He goes out for a run and he gets shot by a white police officer, and it sort of sparks controversy surrounding that. And uh, we get to see the reaction by the family, the 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 girlfriend, spouse, wife. I think they're married. I don't know. It's unclear. Feifei. I think it's Feifei and not Fifi. I want to say Fifi really bad, but I think it's like Feifei. Uh, she's upset and inconsolable, and she gets to have all of these anyway weird scenes that make no sense by the time you get to the end of the movie. And the lead is actually Marley, who friends with Fifi. See, I'm gonna do it. I know I'm gonna do it. I knew it. I knew I was gonna say Fifi. That was so unintentional. Um, and also with uh, the man who was shot, and she's a lawyer, and she's gonna get her vengeance in this. So she's planning on putting together this lawsuit, this information for a lawsuit. She has a boyfriend who is quite prominent during the first half of the movie, Tony, who's a former police officer turned private investigator. He's important to the plot of the film, and we see he interacts with Fifi in ways that again don't make sense by the time you get to the end of the movie. And we also have other characters that come in and out, like there's they actually seem to know the police officer. Like it was a pair, so there was a black police officer and a white police officer. Well, the black police officer, Kevin, is there to sort of, you know, he comes and he runs into Tony and sort of like apologizes and gives him sort of like a heads up about the white guy. I can't remember what his name is. I don't know, like Colin or Connor, or I don't know, something. Quinn or anyway, as to some things that he's heard, and he's like, "Oh no, Tony, you check it out," you know. So we end up following this movie forward, and we go through this whole thing of uh, you know, trying to file a lawsuit and uncovering certain things about the case. And uh, the white cop keeps coming around. He's like, I'm sorry. I just, I'm really sorry. I just need you to know I'm really sorry. And we're going to get into some spoilers because, well, you'll think this movie's going well. And I was like, is Tyler Perry going to make a movie about holding police accountable for shootings? Is that what this movie is actually going to be about? Are we actually going to have that conversation? No, we're not. And that's what's important for you to know, is that Tyler Perry's Duplicity, while it presents itself as being some sort of like conversation piece on, uh, you know, blackness being the reason why so many men are shot, because that's the weapon they truly carry. that's what the that's what white police officers are afraid of. It's not the fact that they're actually carrying a weapon. It's just that who they inherently are. No, he has nothing. He has nothing really intelligent to offer to the conversation. He'd rather just not talk about it. So much like the batshit crazy ending to Mea Culpa, we get a batshit crazy ending to Duplicity, which is what I'm trying to get around to. So Marley goes around and she learns some stuff. She learns that the guy who was shot had cheated on Fifi with this Anne something, Anne girl. Um, and uh, Tony had been hired by the woman's husband because they were going through a divorce so he knew about it, and he was like, no, but he swore he was done with that, and I felt for him, and you know, he's like, I've never given you a reason not to trust me. So um we get to the point where eventually Marley ends up kind of just getting kidnapped at the last minute, uh, and so that she can be told the what's up of what's going on. So she finds herself getting snatched off the street, but it's by the white police officer, and she's like, oh no, oh god, he's gonna kill me too. But he's he's not in the car alone. He's with the Anne girl that was the affair, and she's there to let Marley know, yo yo. So his partner Kevin and I, we used to date, but he was incredibly abusive, and I had to dip. I had to get out of that. So Kevin is actually the ex. That guy who we had an entire conversation where it was just him and Tony was for the audience and not really making any sense for anybody else, but just really for the audience. Uh, turns out Kevin's behind this, and I managed to prompt a shooting, have the other guy shoot it. This guy who was, I guess, sleeping with the woman, like, if I can't have you, nobody can have you. You know, one of those possessive asshole things. So Marley decides to go confront Kevin, and then she learns that, oh shit, Tony's in on it too. I don't know why. Not really a good explanation of why Tony would be in on it, because other than bros helping bros, and it doesn't really make sense for a lot of the scenes that Tony had earlier throughout the course of the movie. His interaction with Kevin doesn't make any sense. His interactions with Fifi that don't make any sense later on. We'll get to that. I'm not done. So so Tony has to turn into a mustache twirling villain. I actually kind of liked Tony up until this point too. I thought he was actually one of the stronger performers in the movie. As soon as he has to turn into a bad guy, this dude's acting goes out the window. He starts turning into like a stereotype, just walking around. There's one point where like the narration, like he was just blowing smoke. Like I guess he was like, well, I'm evil now, so now I'm just gonna start playing around with that evil, dragon thing. When you have evil people who smoke in movies, and it always seems to like encapsulate them somehow. So he starts getting that kind of audio description around him. But it's really Kevin. I mean, Kevin's the one who's like explaining all of this, and he's the volatile one who's at the center of this controversy. And he's like, you just couldn't let it go, could you? I knew you wouldn't be able to. I knew it. And speaking of people who can't let shit go, the crazy, delusional, abusive ex who had somebody killed because, he's the expert on letting things go. So Marley is drugged and put on a boat, and they do that thing where they go through like the James Bond speech of explaining, like, well, Kevin does. That's the thing, is that Tony doesn't really explain in a convincing way why he would be involved in this. I mean, there's like, it really just kind of feels like, well, my bro needed me. But like, he's been with Marley since before this thing happened without Marley ever like mentioning any sort of like abusive tendencies. So why are they friends? You know what I'm saying? Like, this is not like a birds of a feather thing. They presented Tony, he's in quite a bit of the movie, as being a generally good guy. And they're just like, well, surprise, he's not. He was in on this the whole time. Surprise. Guess who else is in on this the whole time too? I don't know, did she come up in her own fucking boat? Like, what happened? But Fifi comes like Tyler Perry's not, he's not okay with just the already batshit crazy reveal of it being Kevin and Tony. No, the fucking Fifi's got to come up here and be like, I knew it, I was in on it too. Fuck you, Marley. All that mourning that I did, he was a shitty boyfriend. Oh God, I had to get rid of him. Oh man. So Marley's out in the water, and with the movie's 3 villains. Some poor, like, I don't know, park ranger boat guy comes up and, are you all okay? I was like, well, this guy is gonna die. So yeah, Marley has to obviously figure out how to get herself out of this situation. Although, at this point, I really would have appreciated if Tyler Perry had just followed through on it and just killed Marley and just been like, villains win sometimes, the end. I mean, if you're gonna go this far into doubling down into things that really don't, he goes out of his way to show us sequences with people who, it's not for show, like they're around other people. There are times when it's just Fifi and Tony, and she's like, I don't know how I'm gonna be able to move on. I don't know. It's so upset. Not really, clearly. So, anyway, that's Tyler Perry's Duplicity. Instead of Tyler Perry taking the time, you know what? I was thinking about this too, because he makes a movie about a black man being shot while jogging. He goes out for a run and he gets shot. And what's really uh, poignant about that is the fact that Tyler Perry Studios is in Atlanta, Georgia, where a black man actually was shot while jogging, kind of made national news because he was being chased by a random, uh, white vigilante uh, truck mob. I don't know what the fuck to call them, other than racist assholes. I don't know where else to go with that. Um, and they thought he had stolen something from a construction site, or what the fuck do you steal from a construction? Anyway, uh, so instead of him having something to say about the community in which that he lives and police violence and brutality, he ends up sort of being like, you know what? Sometimes we need to give the white cops the benefit of the doubt, because it might be all the black people. It might be they might be conspiring to murder their friend and have set them up so that the white cop shoots them. That might be what this is. It is one of the weirdest takes that Tyler Perry, I think, has had on anything ever. And he sets it up where he could have had a movie that actually just was a straightforward movie and actually explored what it is to sort of come out of this type of a shooting. And he can play everything as sympathetic as he wants. I mean, if he wants to portray the white guy as just having been a mistake and he's not inherently racist or whatever, fine, like, whatever, it's your story. No, he goes the complete opposite route, and it's like, black on black crime, I guess, is the problem here, because the dude was just out for a run and his his friends had him killed. So I don't know. Like, I think people think that we're just hard on Tyler Perry movies for no discernible reason whatsoever. But I'm telling you that, like, when you find out that it's Kevin, you remember the first conversation with Tony, and you're like, well, that conversation doesn't make any sense, because why is he talking to Tony about this? If he's guilty, why are they having this conversation? And then, because Tony seems really put off by the fact that Kevin would even have the balls to be there, and Kevin's like, well, let me go in and I just want to apologize. And Tony's like, no. I mean, like, there's an interaction there that just doesn't work. And Tony has interactions with characters that don't work either for him to be able to be part of the villainous plot. And Fifi definitely has interactions that don't work for her to be part of the plot. But yet, it seems like, Tyler Perry is more interested in pulling rabbits out of hats and it being like, not a rabbit, but like, oh, look what I've gotten here. You thought it was a rabbit? It's actually a chinchilla. Whoa, bet you didn't see that coming. It's like, why is there a chinchilla in your hat? Like, it's just, okay, so it's not a rabbit. It's not what I predicted. Oh, what's up next? Oh, looks like it's actually popcorn. That's not even an animal. What are we doing, Tyler? It just feels like he's going for the most random possible thing that he could find just to surprise you, which is what Mea Culpa felt like. It felt like at the end of the movie that they were just like, well, let's turn off all reasoning and let's just go for it. Let's just blow people's minds, because twist endings are everything. That's what M. Night Shyamalan is known for, is the twist. So it's like Tyler Perry is trying to reinvent himself in the later part of his career. Now that he makes movies, not for church audiences, but for general audiences, full of, I mean, Mea Culpa is pretty adult. Now that he makes movies with adult content, I guess he's decided he has to have a new gimmick, and the new gimmick is to become the new M. Night Shyamalan and to try to bamboozle people at the end of every single movie. But he was so close to actually having something to say for his community, to actually take this movie and to make it a serious... Can he make a serious movie? Is it possible, or is he incapable of telling a story straightforward? Because he had the goods, and I was actually starting to get really interested in the story. Because I was like, oh my God, is Tyler Perry going to direct a straightforward movie that's about police violence? And Marley's going to get justice, and we're going to see this court case play out, and it's just going to be that kind of movie? No, it's not. It's not going to be that movie. It's going to be the movie where the white cop, the lesson here is, well, maybe it's not his fault. Maybe there's some crazy shit going on that you just don't know about. What is this? Anyway, I use your powers for good, Tyler. Use your powers for good, man. Don't be so worried about trying to find the weirdest possible way to end your movie. I'm surprised there wasn't like a character who came in out of nowhere who was like, and I'm also in on it. LeBron James. Why is LeBron James in on the murder? I don't know. But he is. He agreed to cameo in the movie. He's just here to remind people that he was in on it. Bet you didn't see that coming. No, I didn't. You're right. Absolutely did not see that coming either. If we don't stop him, Tyler Perry is just going to keep doing this. He's just going to keep making movies with absurd endings. And instead of making movies with actual plot structure, he's so concerned. Mea Culpa was not a bad movie until the third act. Until it just throws everything out the window and goes, you know what? Fuck it. This is what this movie's about. I mean, Divorce in the Black came in really hot with that opening sequence. It had a hard time. Divorce in the Black has one of the weirdest opening scenes I've ever seen for a movie. It's a bit much, but it's like, it's so frustrating when you see that Tyler Perry has some stuff there, and then he just seems to go for the self-inflicted wounds as much as humanly possible, and nobody stops him. Nobody ever tells him, hey man, you're so close to doing something that's actually of consequence. If you just told a story instead of worrying about, catching people at the end of the movie with an aha moment, you might actually get something out of it. So would I recommend Tyler Perry's Duplicity? If you're willing to shut it off before finishing the movie, and then just kind of make up the ending in your mind, sure. That's not the way we live lives. So unfortunately, you get this ending that seems more interested in shocking you, whether it makes sense or not, and taking away from what could have been a really constructive story, and instead making everyone the villain. All of the people in this guy's life, all of the black people this guy knew except Marley, they were the problem. They were the reason he got shot. They're the ones that hold the responsibility. What a weird message. I'm gonna give Tyler Perry's Duplicity a D+. I think probably I was willing to... I gave Mea Culpa a higher grade because I really liked the first part of the movie. I thought Trevante Rhodes did a really good job. Kelly was pretty good. Divorce in the Black, less. That was a movie that was a tough movie to watch. That would definitely be a rotten for me. I would have actually gone positive slightly on the 688, mainly because I thought Kerry Washington was fantastic. And then we get to Duplicity, and I can't really think of a great reason except for When the movie is playing it straight, it looks like there might be something here. He just then veers the car into a tree. So at the end of the day, if your Uber driver is giving you a good ride for a while and then he drives the car into a tree, you're not going to remember the rest of the ride. You're going to remember the fact that he drove straight into a tree and it ruined your day and injured you. Maybe you're in the hospital or whatever. You remember that part. And that's what I think everybody's going to remember from Duplicity. So, thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. And I will see you guys on the other side.